right. Welcome back to the Earn Playbook. So, today we're going to continue the conversation around money. And we really want to just talk about just our own past money mistakes, lessons we've learned, maybe the hard way. But most importantly, like how to actually win with money in life. We, again, are not experts. We want to have this platform to share our own experience and hope that you can glean from that. But today's really about growth. It's about strategy and really how to make better choices with your money from here. Because the best time to start is now. But before we get into our topic around money, how are you, Jeff? Wait, also, Kojo is not here with us today. He is on vacation, enjoying his self without us somewhere with a lot of sun.
Oh,
So I don't know. Maryland, it's been like it's been hot, like 90 plus degrees, and today it dropped to like 58 and rainy. So
oh,
yeah.
same over here.
Oh,
Same. Yeah, for the past 2 days it was really, really hot. And the worst thing that could ever happen to me is my AC in my car broke. So I was
mm,
so pissed. I was like, oh God, not again. So I've
no.
been driving to work, my car's so hot. But it is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, I think today it dropped really, really bad. I think we went down to like 58 or so. So it was kind
Yeah.
of all over the place.
Little cold front coming through.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but yeah, how are things with you?
Yeah, everything is going fine. Work is good.
Mhm.
Because during this summer we get a little bit busy, but it kind of dies down when heading towards the end of summer. So looking forward to that. But aside that, everything is good with work wise, family wise. And yeah, keeping it simple also. What about you though? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. My sister recently got her master's degree, went back to
Whoa, nice. Shout out to your sister.
Yes, thank you. So really just proud of her. She's married with 2 kids, works full time, and still managed to get a 4.0 and finish in 3 years. So, yep, really
Wow.
yesterday, yeah, so family in town. So that was really, really, really nice. So yeah, I'm in a good place, really happy.
That's good. So probably this weekend is gonna be busy for you guys, huh?
Yes, the party continues. So it's gonna be busy. And I think I told everybody about my Achilles. I'm still in this.
I saw it. I was like, oh geez.
I know. But listen, we are not gonna let it stop us. And of course, I had posted a photo, everyone, of myself, my family, my sister. And I mean, I wear the boot every day, so I don't think of it. And I wasn't thinking about it when I, posted the photos. Everybody kept asking me, and I was like, oh, I should not have done that because I have to keep repeating. But no, I appreciate everybody's love and concern. But I'm healing every day.
Oh, that's good. Did they give you like a timeline that you're gonna take it off?
Well, I thought that it was gonna be, like, 3 weeks, like, it's been a month, and the last appointment I had, they're like, "It's kind of just until the pain is gone."
Oh,
I know, and then Friday, my physical therapist last week, she's like, "Yeah, I mean, anywhere sometimes 8 to 10 weeks." I was like, "What?"
oh
So, we'll
man,
see.
damn.
I know, but I have another appointment, follow-up with the orthopedic doctor next week, so I'm hoping because that will be about, what, 6 weeks? Yeah, so I'm hoping that, or no, 5 weeks, so I'm hoping, by then it's in a better space. I'm doing
Yeah.
my PT, I'm doing the exercise I need to do at home. I'm doing my part, so
Oh,
God will
that's good.
it's healing,
That's
so
good. My prayers with you.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So yes, let's get into it. I think it's the first kind of question thing I wanna talk about is, like, how did you used to view money, like, in the past versus how we view it now? And how has, like, your upbringing, culture, pressure, how has all of that shaped, like, money habits?
So I mean, growing up in Ghana, right? I didn't get to have like a really like a fast job when we were younger. Unlike here where a kid will be 16 years old, 14 years old, and start making money on their own. Unlike Ghana, you would probably be living with your parents for a long while
Mhm.
before probably I would say maybe after college, and then you might start
Yes.
you find a job or something.
Yep.
Here it's different. You start to make money, so you get to have like the experience with money very young, and I think it kind of helps and shapes you in a way. So in Ghana, we didn't I didn't personally get in touch with money, that I would say my own money. It
Mhm.
was all parents giving you money here or there, going to school, trying to make ends meet here or there. But so it gave me that mentality about not appreciating money at a very
Mhm.
younger age because it
Mhm.
wasn't coming out of my pocket. But now anything comes out of my pocket, I was like, oh man, jeez.
Right? Exactly. I know.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is probably how I kind of
Mhm.
got in touch with money. And then during my I think early 20s, it
Mhm.
was all about hand to mouth. The hustle
Mhm.
mentality. You get, you spend. You get, you spend. There
Mhm.
wasn't no notion around there. You were just living through the norms. So me growing up actually getting understanding money has changed a whole lot of perception when it comes to budget saving,
Mhm.
investing, the basic things that will make someone successful. And I think I'm currently zoning in on that, and I think it's helping. What about
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, I mean, similar. It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, my family's been here, so of course, you're always talking about growing up. But we were just saying how different it is. Yeah, like you said, from when you were younger to like when you're adult. And I remember like my mom would go grocery shopping, and then I would just be like, "Oh, my mom went shopping. You guys want this? You want that? Come over." Like I would just be giving food away.
For the Christmas.
Yes, and, like, my mom would look at me like, "What are you doing?" And now I'm like, well, I'm one of 5, like, there's a lot of us, right? And so, like, now as an adult, I'm like, "Can you imagine, like, giving away, like, groceries?" Like,
I know, right?
my goodness. But yeah, no, I think for me, same thing, like, being younger, I always felt like, because like, my mom always, like, she is, like, superwoman, and she would, like, get us whatever, what what we needed until I remember, like, middle school, like, wanting a certain pair of shoes, and we didn't I didn't get it. So then it's kinda like I felt like this little bit of, like, scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
Um, and, like, the feeling of, like, "Oh, I gotta really save," like, you never know, there might be, like, not be enough. My earliest view of money was, like, first, like, "Oh, yeah," like, when you're younger, like, yeah, if you ask something, you get it. And then
Yes.
as I
Yep.
got,
Mhm.
like, older, realizing, like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that and then, yeah, I think like, culture for me too, like, after college, like, I mean, I went to grad school, but when I, like, finished and came back, it was kinda like, "Well, you're not married, like, you're not gonna move out on your own," right? That wasn't, like,
Mhm,
a
mhm.
thing opposed to, like, my friends who were like, yeah, they're getting their first apartments and stuff like that, and I was very much now in hindsight, like, it was great because I was able to really save,
Save,
but
yes.
it was really, like, I didn't know that that wasn't a thing. I thought, yeah, and, like, you don't move out till you get married. I thought everyone was like that. But, even though I grew up in America, like, the culture, I grew up in, like, Ghanaian culture, and so that wasn't the same for,
That
like
thing, yes, yeah.
yeah, a lot of my friends.
Yes, yeah. And I think it's good in a way because it gets us safe from a whole lot of nonsense.
Yes.
Because in Ghana, you will rarely hear someone saying that. I mean, I don't know about now though, but you rarely hear someone saying that I'm gonna go live with my girlfriend. I'm
Oh,
gonna live
yeah,
with my
no.
boyfriend. It doesn't happen. And but here it is a norm.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
people would rent
Mhm.
together, and people would actually buy houses with their girlfriends. And I think that is a very very scary move. But hey,
Yeah.
we don't judge.
Right, yes, we listen and we don't judge, but yeah,
Exactly,
it's so
exactly.
different. But those are one of the cultural differences. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk money mistakes, and things that we've kind of done in the past where it's just like, now I know. Um, that wasn't good. Like, what's one money mistake you made that taught you a serious lesson?
I would say when I got to America, right, I got myself a credit card. And that was my first ever credit card with Bank of America.
Yeah.
And Steph, trust me, I felt like I was the president of America. I
Yeah.
was swiping left, right, center. Um,
Mhm.
anything that I see, I go to the Apple shop. Oh, okay, you see this MacBook Air, you swipe.
Mhm.
You get this watch, swipe. So by the time I realized, I was racked up in some crazy amount of debt. And that I think was one of my major mistakes with money. And lo and
Mhm.
behold, I started listening to Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know if he usually says there's a plastic surgery. right,
Yeah.
on your card.
Like your
So
card.
I
Yep.
started the debt snowball, trying to pay it little by little, little by little.
Mhm.
And I think that really, really helped me to get
Yeah.
rid of that debt. And also, I really didn't learn the basics of money and essentially the basics of credit card. I'll put it and say,
Mhm.
because I didn't know about interest and all that stuff. So I personally thought that once you pay your monthly
Yeah.
bill, you're done. There's no interest. So I got hit with interest. I called the bank. I was like, no way. Why did you guys charge me more? I
Mhm.
already paid, and they literally explained everything to me. And I was like, oh damn.
Like, didn't know
This is
that.
exactly. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was this interest stuff and all that. So it was an eye opener for me. And I would say I think those are my major, major mistakes. Not learning enough about money and also getting myself into debt very, very fast.
Mhm. Well, interesting enough, same thing, exact same thing. I remember when I was 17, 18. I remember, like, some I don't know what it was, but it was something on campus, and you could sign up for a credit card, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is cool." But, like, I didn't know, and of course, like, I'm a broke college student. I was a college athlete, so I couldn't work, right? So, I would just, like, use it, and not really knowing, like you said, like, about credit, how it works. I just was just like, "Oh, I'll be rich, and I'll just pay it when I graduate."
Yep.
I'll graduate college, get a good job, and it'll be fine. And so, yeah, I think that was probably my biggest one because then you get reliant on it as well. And that's so funny you say that because same thing, Dave Ramsey, I did it at a local church, the financial
No
piece.
financial state.
Yes.
Yep.
And, he talked about like, oh no, man, nothing but love, like, no debts and just the discussion of like that freedom and the seven baby steps. And that really helped me, just the practicality around it and, using cash as well. And so, yeah, that was probably the biggest one is credit cards. And I know people talk about like points and this and that, but and I know it works for some people, but I also know it takes like a certain level, you got to be paying attention. And so if it works for a person, great. But for me
Said a
myself,
lot of people zoning on I'm getting airline points and all this stuff, but
yeah.
you would have to spend a lot of money to be getting
Mhm,
all these points,
mhm. Yeah, and
so
be disciplined to, like, pay it off and not overspend.
yes, yes, yes. So
Yeah.
I think that is what makes me really admire and appreciate Dave Ramsey in a way because he is teaching money to literally everyone.
Mhm, mm,
And I think if you do follow the steps that he does preaches, I think it will help regardless. But I know, hey, people have their own notion. People think that having a credit card
mhm.
can help you and all that stuff, but their own.
It's exactly. That's the thing, like, this is basically for us what we're saying, like, it didn't, like, that worked for us. Let's talk about, like, one thing we, like, kind of wish we understood about credit, debt, or savings earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with especially, I think everyone should learn more about money. I
Mhm.
think having financial literacy can go a long way.
Yes.
You need to know where your money is coming from,
Mm,
especially if you're working, your only source of income is your job and all that stuff. You
right.
need to know how much you're making and how much it's going out. You
Mm,
need to learn about liabilities and assets. And I think it is
yes.
very detrimental that you cannot afford not to know these stuff. You know,
Mhm.
you cannot be buying anything that you do see around. You need to learn about budgeting. You need to learn about savings. And I think
Yes.
those are the lines that if you religiously follow, right,
Yeah.
you can win with money. You don't need to do, and I personally think that when it comes to money, you don't need to do anything extravagant. If you stick to the basics, right, and
Mhm.
you see there's this popular saying that if you don't want to be poor, learn from the mistakes of the poor,
Mhm.
or go to the rich and then make sure you learn from what they're doing. And
Mhm.
I think that is, I was zoning on financial literacy that everyone should learn just the basics.
Mhm.
I read this book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad
Oh,
Poor Dad, right? And he was talking about the liabilities and assets,
assets,
and
yes.
and I feel like a lot of people don't really differentiate or they don't really know what is a liability to you and what is going to be an
Mhm,
asset to you. So
mhm.
yeah, so I think we all need to be financially literate.
Yes, no, I agree. I mean, I think like what I wish I would have known more about, like it's just basic compound interest, right? Like, I mean, I will say I'm grateful. Like my mom would always tell us, like, number one, you tithe. It's just the law of reaping and sowing.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yep.
So that and also savings. She was all like, "You pay yourself first, right? So you
Mhm.
always put into your retirement and you always put something aside." But I wish I would, especially with retirement, clear about like, "Okay, this is how much I wanna put in my retirement this year." So rather than just doing like the 3% to get the match, I would have just done maybe like 5%. Like I would have been more strategic,
Mhm.
in how what's the word? Like how much I was giving like each year and been more paid more attention with to like what investments I was putting in as well. I just wish like I would have known more about large cap, small cap,
Yes.
turn, like, all those things. Like I wish I would have known earlier and having buckets beyond just saving for retirement. I wish I would have started at 20, yeah, at 22 when I started my first job, like, start then for a house, like, start putting a little bit away.
Correct. Yes.
Because that I had the mentality of like, "Oh, like, when I get further in my career, I'll make more and then I can save." But even if you're just saving $5 a month on a small salary fund, and I really like it because he talks a lot about, like, the sinking funds and, like, just different buckets for saving. So vacation bucket, this bucket, that rather than just all one big bucket. So, yeah, I highly recommend also people reading that book as well as Dave Ramsey's We Should All Be Millionaires as well. I think it's Rachel Rogers, some books that I felt like were really helpful around more so mindset. Because I was gonna say another money mistake I made was just my mindset, right? Like that's being super, super wealthy is for other people, right? Like investing is like for others. So like not seeing myself as like wealthy and doing wealthy things. One of the things that that book talks about is like broke mindset and broke decisions and how you have to really change your mindset first to really be secure in your money and your financial choices. But like you said, that financial literacy piece is so critical.
Yes, yes, and I think also, right, with habits also comes a long way because if you're diligent with little, right,
Mhm.
you're gonna be diligent with the lot, and I think it comes with even the tithing, as you just mentioned, right? If you're making $100 and then you decide that you know what you're gonna put in the 10%, that will be the $10, right?
Mhm.
People actually think that no, I'm gonna wait till I make a lot of money before I can start
Yeah.
giving out money. And I think it doesn't work that way, because if you're not diligent with the little, with $100 that you're making, if you're not putting down the 10% out of it, there's
Mhm.
no way under the sun that when you start making $1 million, you're gonna put 100,000 down. You
Right.
know, starting small, trying to put money here or there, and it compounds over time.
Mhm.
I have a question for you regarding this line, right? I think during COVID also, again, right? There was a lot of people saying you don't need to have savings. And I think as of now, people do say it. You don't need to have savings. You gotta
No.
go invest. And the rationale behind it is that they think that what right is
Mhm.
gonna hit your money. Your money is just sitting down doing absolutely nothing. Right. So
Mhm.
why don't you go ahead and invest it instead of it just being in the bank,
Dang.
accruing what 0.2%. So people have this notion that don't save, just
Mhm.
invest, invest, invest. What is your thinking
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, actually, Kojo and I talk about this a lot too. One thing my brother always says is like, it's called personal finance because it's personal, right, to you, right? So, what works for you? I do think you need to save.
Yes,
For that saving, having a certain percent and like they say, what is it, like 6 to 12 months of, like, emergency fund, like,
funds. Yes,
it's important to have that, and also invest, like, in your brokerage, definitely in your retirement as well, but I do think it is important to have something liquid that you can get your hands on in case of an let's have in a reasonable amount that you're comfortable that you are like, "Okay, this is a good amount if anything happens." Like, I know I can go to the bank and pull it out because sometimes with investing, whether it's your brokerage or real estate, it may not be,
that easy to take out.
exactly, get that access, but I think just as your own safety net, it's important to have that savings there.
Yes, yes, and I think that is where people usually get it wrong.
Mhm.
They think that just go big or go home. So what do you say about the rationale behind it about inflation? And I think it does make sense that
It does make sense, and I kind of like the way Dave Ramsey actually said it because it clicked for me. He's like, "That's like insurance. Like, your money in your like, it's not for you to make money off of. It is insurance. Like,
Mhm.
that money that's sitting in your emergency fund, like, that's just what it is. It's just for emergency. It's insurance. Kinda like your car insurance. Like, you're
Yeah,
not gonna make money off of it. It's literally because one day you might need it.
neither.
Yeah, so it's like I look at it as 2 separate things, like, the purpose of the emergency fund is just that, it's not to make money off of it, and so that's why you have to do the numbers, like, what makes sense to be in that account, and then go and invest properly to, for whatever you're investing for, like, whatever your, financial goals are. I think it's a both and for me.
Yes, yes, yeah, and I think I'm with you on that. I think you need to also have that safety net because sometimes things can happen very,
Yes.
very fast, and especially nowadays, the way layoffs are happening and all that.
Mhm.
If, for instance, you get laid off and you have no safety net, you have no emergency funds, I
Mhm.
think you'll be really, really in deep waters, right?
Yes.
So if you've put all your money in, taking out money from investment portfolios and all that stuff, it is very tough because then sometimes it accrues penalties and all that stuff. But I
Mhm.
think having a local savings, right?
Yes.
Not thinking about inflation or anything. I think it makes sense. And you brought about the point about it being an insurance. You don't think that you're making money out of it, but at least it's there just in case if happens. You have
Exactly.
something to fall on to.
Yes, and that's exactly how I look at it. It's literally your safety net just in case of anything. Because like, even me, I had, like, an issue in my basement. I had to replace the entire carpet, right? And at the same
Mhm.
time, I accidentally bumped into my garage, my, trash cans a little too hard. I have to
Oh,
so I have a dent in my car, I have to get that fixed. And even this, like, Achilles injury, MRI cost, the cost of the boot, like, it's just all of that
yeah.
within a month. Yeah, it sums up, and I'm so grateful. That's why I always say, like, people like, I didn't always have an emergency fund,
Mhm.
but as I'm so grateful that I did, in that position, and that's why, like, when we talk about, like, how to win with money, I think that's one of the things I always encourage people to, like, build an emergency fund so you don't have to be reliant on credit, if you have that cash, that liquid one.
Right. I also want us to talk a little bit about debts, right?
Mm,
And I'm pretty sure you've heard about good debts, bad debts, and I know we're gonna zone in more in the
mhm,
next episodes that we'll be having.
yeah.
So what do you think?
I mean, I was pretty naive when I was in my 20s. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll just buy the house cash," and I think that's also culture, right? Like,
Yes.
like, that's what you do. You save up your money and then you build your house. Opposed to here, it's typically you would. Yes, exactly. And so as I got older, I realized I'm gonna definitely have to take out a mortgage, which
Hmm.
is debt, right? But which is what they say consider good debt, but
Correct.
it's still debt, right? So but then you have the equity. So I don't know, it's a funny relationship. I was grateful that undergrad I had a academic, a athletic scholarship, so I didn't have to take out student loans in
Hmm.
undergrad, but I did with my master's degree, but the interest was, like, low, so I always say, like, if you do have to take out debt for, like, your home or your, student loans, like, getting it low interest as possible makes the most sense, but ideally, the dream is to, like Dave Ramsey said, like, have your house paid off, being able to buy your car in cash,
Yeah.
not having, the credit card, consumer debt. That's the goal because you can really cash flow your life, right? It's not gonna be going to somebody else.
Hmm.
That takes a certain level of, like, making income and
Yes.
discipline, all of that to get there.
And I think people also need to live below their means, and I think
Yeah.
that is what really, really gets people to into these
Mhm.
all sort of crazy debts, right? Yeah, you
Mhm. 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 Right. Yes. Cash.
Get into the rat race where if you want to buy a house, you get a mortgage, right? And now it's qualified as a good debt, but some people will also say that it might be a liability if you don't really plan it well, right? I don't really side with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey wants you to put so much money into your
Oh, yeah, down payment?
the down payment and then you sign up for a 15-year loan
15 year.
instead of the 30-year loan. And I think that is my only thing with Dave Ramsey. I'm like, "Oh, this is tough."
Mhm.
I mean, it's good though. I mean, if you could
Good, but
do it,
yes.
trust me. But nowadays, interest rates with houses and
Mhm.
prices of houses have gone so high. And if you're moving towards the 15-year mark, it might involve a lot of money,
Yes.
which you could have used that money to do something else, right?
Yes.
To bring
Yes.
in more cash flow. But it's neither here or there. If you can afford it, fine. But I think people need to be strategic, especially when you're purchasing your homes, when you're purchasing cars. I don't see the need to have so much flashy things that it
Mhm.
keeps drawing money out of you
That
every single month. So and I think that is where people usually fall off. I worked in TJ Maxx back in the days, and we were forced to sell credit cards, right? To
oh, yes,
you
you
gotta
cashed it out.
exactly you gotta ask everyone, even if they're buying something $1, you gotta sell them a credit card. And I think that is also one part of the business where they were making money off.
Mhm.
So, and sometimes you could literally tell that, man, these people don't have it because they put in their yearly income when
Mhm.
they're signing up for these credit cards.
Yeah.
But I mean, who am I to educate them,
Yeah.
when it comes to stuff like that? So I think now that we do have the freedom, these store credit cards, you really don't need them. It
You don't. I oof, yeah. I had them a lot when I was, like, in my 20s. I had, like, an Express one, an Old Navy one. I had one and honestly, I remember I was driving home one day, and it's like, I just feel like the Holy Spirit, like, "No one's coming to save you. You need to,
mm,
like, pull it together, like, pay all these little small, like, cars off because 'cause they're not necessary." Like you said, like, you don't need them. Like,
mm,
and the interest rates on them are crazy. Goes back to
yeah.
what you're saying, you need to, like, educate yourself on finances. There's so many books, podcasts, Instagram posts out there, but it's like I didn't really know that. I thought I knew, but I didn't know that much about it. And so those interest rates will eat you up for sure.
Yeah, nowadays, like probably 30%
Yeah.
when it comes to the APR and all that stuff. Jeez, man. But when people are signing into these or getting into these credit cards, I think it's all based off emotions. And
Mhm.
people really don't actually sit down to understand that they
Mhm.
do you really need that Gucci bag or Birkin bag or whatever the
Can't
brand
afford
is,
it.
right? But I think sometimes the emotions plays a huge major role when we are purchasing stuff. we
Mhm.
we want to we want to buy the most expensive cars, we want to finance the most expensive cars. Dave Ramsey call it fleecing, right? When you're trying to lease a
Yeah.
car.
On the opposing side too is Ramit in his book, and it talks about, like, actually, like, what is your rich life, right? I think he made an example of, like, they will buy cashmere, sweaters because that's what they love, but which costs really, it's a lot of money, but they drive maybe not the most fancy car. Another person who, like, loves fancy cars, but, like, they're okay, like, not just, like, having in, like, other areas of their life, they don't have the fancy jeans or shoes, whatever, but they have the latest cars. That's why I kinda did like his perspective in that, like, what is your rich life? Like, have like your budget that handles the basics, your savings and all of that, and do it in a way that, like, the money that you want to spend, like me, like, I love to travel, right? Like, so
Mhm.
how do you do your budget in a way that you love to travel, like need, like, I like nice cars and bad like, but how do you do your budget in a way that you can actually afford it? Like,
afford, yeah, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
being able to, like, afford it, which, like, one of the things when we talked about, like, winning with money, like, practical steps for me is, like, knowing your numbers. I think that's the biggest thing, like, how much do you have coming in? Like, even before like, top line, like, gross
Yeah.
and net, like, how much what tax bracket are you in? Like, know your numbers and, like, budgeting realistically, really building out, as I said before, that emergency fund, reducing debt, like, that's what I'm doing now. Automating savings, I think that's a huge one because once it's automated,
About it, yes.
like, it's done. And then, for our young viewers, like, investing early, there's nothing like time in the market. I was trying to figure out how to do some different, like, investing with my retirement, and one of the things that the person I was speaking with was saying, he was just like, "It's not necessarily like you can't time the market, but you need time in the market." And, like,
Mhm.
it's more, like, important about, like, how long, you're in it. So, the earlier you can get in, the best. And one of the questions I had for you, like, I know we're wrapping up, was just really around, like, because when I think about winning with money, part of it is, like, that lifestyle creep and, like, really avoiding that. And we're talking about career, increasing your income and having those money conversations because I think it's important that people talk about money because you learn from each other. Like I learned from someone I did this leadership program with about the financial planner that I'm working with now. And like Coach and I like always talk about money and exchange thing. And I just think it's so important to like talk about money.
Yes.
But I think my question for you is how do you avoid lifestyle creep? Like what because it's so easy, like, well, I have the money, so I can, spend it. Should you get it just because it's there?
Yeah, so I think with that question, right, I have one simple answer. If you know where you're coming from, it kind of helps you to stay humble, you
Mm,
know.
mhm,
I have been in a, I think I said this last week, last 2 weeks. I have been in a position of not having a lot, and I saw
mhm,
how painful it was,
mhm,
and also I have also seen a lot of people that have racked up so much money, and
mhm,
because of bad habits, they lost it all.
mhm.
So those are my scares, right? When
Yeah.
when I look up the extremities of each side, I'm
Mhm,
like, do I need to have a lifestyle creep because I'm making X amount of money now?
yeah,
Do I need to buy all these fancy stuff? Do I need to buy things that I know definitely I cannot afford? Or even if I can
right.
afford it, right? Is it really need?
Mhm,
So I think those are it keeps me in check that
mm,
I don't want to because Steph, truth to be told, it is very, very easy. And I know we are saying this as if we got it all figured out. It is
right.
very easy for stuff like this to creep up onto you because once
Mhm.
you start making more money, right, in your brain, right, you think that, you know what, I can afford this. Let's get it.
Yes.
Without you even thinking. And I
Mhm.
think it boils down to having like a very, very strong discipline with money
Yes.
that even if you're making good amount of money at work, you need to live way below your means. And
Mhm.
I personally think that if you do that, that is what is going to keep you rich, and that
Mhm.
is what is
Yeah.
going to give you that boost in life, and especially with retirement.
Yes.
Well, all every year, right? We do get a pay increase at work. Right?
Mm,
We do get, I think, 4% at work every year. What I've been doing is that anytime I do get a pay increase,
mhm.
instead of me thinking about the things that I could buy or how I'm gonna start living the flashy lifestyle, I
Mhm.
rather increase my investments with it.
No, that's good.
So, like my K will work, I increase it more because okay, now that I'm getting that raise, let me put it inside these 401k so that it doesn't even hit my hand for me to start thinking about spending like crazy or spending like I'm in
Exactly.
Congress. So yeah, I think yeah, the lifestyle creep can catch up to you very quick.
Yeah.
And to all our listeners, right? If you've caught yourself in this position that you got money, you got a promotion, and then you bought cars or you bought some flashy
Mhm.
lifestyle and all that stuff. I would say it's okay, you've made a mistake. Now we learn from it.
Yes.
This is not gonna be our stack position or this is not
Mhm.
gonna be our end. I am here to encourage you. We've all made mistakes. I have bought some stupid stuff that I think I shouldn't have bought.
Oh my goodness. And the debt, like,
And
oh,
Exactly, exactly. And
Right.
I think
Yeah.
it's so if we don't want to keep up with the Joneses,
Mm,
we should just stay away from certain stuff. And then we are all here to learn. So
yes.
once you acknowledge that you've made certain mistakes, you've made some life choices with money and you really want to get yourself out of it,
Mhm.
baby steps, you take baby steps, you
Mhm.
pay one credit card from the other and all that stuff. And Dave Ramsey will say, if you really budget well, you feel like a millionaire because it's
Yeah.
like everything you've apportioned every money for.
I'm with you on that. Awesome. Well, we are at time. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to continue this conversation next week. We want everyone to win with money. And I think winning with money is not about being perfect, but it's about being honest. It's about being intentional and making better decisions with what you have now. And so like I think we always want to make the headline is like there's no judgment, like even now, like we're still learning. Like I just got a new financial planner and I'm learning things, myself. So it's like starting where you are, but don't stay where you are.
I love that. I love that.
Yes,
I
yes,
love that.
yes. So thank you all. Continue to follow us on YouTube as well as on Instagram. Please submit your questions to us on our website at www.earnplainbook.com. And we look forward to talking with you again. All right. Thanks. Bye, y'all.